How is everybody doing today? Welcome to the Sounds Like Liberty podcast, episode number 23 with the Launchpad Media. I'm your host, Nicky P, here with my lovely wife and co-host, Lizzie. How are you doing?
Greetings. I'm well.
All right, so hopefully you're not going to hear all the banging that I'm listening to right now because we have people here a week late working on our roof.
They're up on the roof.
Up on the roof.
Yeah.
And we're doing this probably earlier than we should have done it and later than we should have done it simultaneously.
You know what? It is what it is, folks.
And what is it?
It is that season at which I am at all times conscious and unconscious.
There is that. So, we're going to start today's episode off by addressing the fact that I do not believe we gave a rating last week. I'm terrible about this these days.
Snap a doodle. What would be the rating for that?
What song did we talk about?
Oh, good gravy, man.
I think it was a Kami song for sure.
Yeah.
Oh well. Let's just say it was a Kami song. I don't remember what it was. It's so long ago.
They were Kami.
It's that season.
We love this season, but it's hard to
do
the things that one normally does in this season.
What do we normally do in the season other than work a million hours at UPS for you?
Yeah, pretty much that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, whatever we talked about last week, it was a Kami song. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
And yell at me if you think I'm wrong. Seriously, get on the Facebook, join the Sounds Like Liberty discussion board, and talk mad shit.
There you go.
Because that's what I want you to do.
That's what we go for around here.
So, this week we are talking about a song, one of my favorite songs actually, Killer Band.
Song.
The wonderful Mr. Corey Glover, and
something, yeah.
Living Color.
There you go.
So, I'm exceptionally excited that it starts out with a Malcolm X quote. The more I read about that guy, the more I like Malcolm X.
I don't know what to tell you.
What do you mean you don't know what to tell me?
I mean, I guess I always had beef with Malcolm X because my parents had beef with Malcolm X, but I don't necessarily know much about the guy. Honestly.
Have beef with him?
Oh, well, because they felt like he was working against the black people who just wanted things to be cool.
Oh, he was definitely doing that. There's no mistakes about that.
And my parents come from a long line of black people.
Keep your head down. Yeah. No, your parents in that regard, you definitely would have liked him because his whole thing was, fuck them, let's do it ourselves.
Yeah. There's
no reason every other group of people out there can come to this country and make it and we can't.
Yeah.
There's nothing exceptionally wrong with us, so what the fuck are we doing? We're sitting here begging for table scraps and let's go out and make our own stuff.
I think it was more the by any means necessary sort of thing that he talked about.
I think that we have a bit. He was a victim of. He was a genuine upstart.
Yeah.
It was going to cause problems, in that people didn't want an actual separate entity, which is I think would have happened.
Absolutely.
That's why, you tout King. The racial thing was going to happen one way or the other. It could not happen.
Try and go with the guy they thought they could work
with. Let's go with the guy that plays ball.
Sure.
And then when he doesn't play ball, we kill him.
Right. Because...
we're the FBI.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, So anyways, to quote... And during the few moments that we have left, we want to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand.
I wonder if that's where the phrase "down to earth" really came from. Do you think it existed in popular language before that?
I have no frame of reference on this, Liz.
Okay, just wondering.
Way to ask me questions I don't know the answers to. So, you want to start this one out and Corey Glover me up this morning?
Sure. Look in my eyes. What do I see? The cult of personality. I know your anger. I know your dreams. I've been everything you want to be. Oh, I'm the cult of personality.
That's some sales shit right there.
Sales?
Yep.
What you talking about?
Well, if you want to sell to somebody, you gotta gotta not tell them that I'm like you. You gotta tell them I am you. But continue.
Okay, right on. Like Mussolini and Kennedy, I'm the cult of personality. Repeats that a couple more times.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think he's getting at in that that first verse? Quick verse, but
well, I mean, I think my interest in this song is actually more in the fact that, you know, in libertarianism, I think there's some of us that have a tendency to glom onto cults of personality.
So basically, you like the personality of the person. You're less concerned about what they're actually doing.
It's not that. It's just you're buying into something as opposed to really examining the honesty and the truth of it. I mean, people can say there's something and not be that.
Ah, I see. Right on.
I know, especially like the Mises Caucus types that I hang out with. They're definitely confused of treating Ron Paul that way. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, but
well, I think it's very easy and useful to be inspired by luminaries, and
it's social proof.
It's hard to find those lines that before you cross them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, neon lights, Nobel Prize. When a mirror speaks, the reflection lies. You won't have to follow me. Only you can set me free. I think he's kind of examining the idea that what you see is this thing that you're kind of building up in your head. Like, you see what you want to see in these people, and it's not the reality of it. And I think perhaps he's dealing with the fact that perhaps they're a function themselves of this, like they're in their own kind of prison, perhaps.
It's an interesting thought, yeah.
So,
I sell the things you need to be.
Told you it was a sales pitch.
I'm the smiling face of your TV. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. I exploit you. Still you love me. I tell you 1 and 1 makes 3. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. Like Joseph Stalin and Gandhi. Oh, I'm the cult of personality.
Sing talking Corey Glover lyrics is hilarious.
I don't know what to tell you.
Well, and this has always been my favorite thing in here is that because you'll see he's doing a very specific thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he puts Mussolini next to Kennedy, he puts Stalin next to Gandhi,
right?
And the idea is the point is that I mean politicians are politicians. Doesn't really matter
whether you'd consider them good or bad. They're using the same methodology.
Well, I mean, they all rise to power somehow.
Yeah.
They have to convince you that there's some greatness in them.
Right.
So that's always been kind of like my big takeaway on this is that I think anyone looking to somebody else to dictate their life is not really living life for starters. You know, I love that he points out Nobel Prize because the first thing that comes to mind is that charlatan Paul Krugman.
I see.
Yeah. Who our friend Bob Murphy wrote a great book about.
Yeah.
And by wrote it, they just took a bunch of shit he wrote over the years.
And
it was
frankly,
fantastic.
It's a great way to write a book.
It is. And I listened. It was good. You know, buy the audiobook version of it. Tom Woods reads it, and he's always fun to listen to read.
He is very fun.
Tom needs to go back and fix his back catalog that he had other people read.
I do prefer to hear books read by the author. His books particularly, I think, would be much better that way. Yes,
they would be. I bought one Tom Woods audiobook that didn't have him reading it, and I... Just saying.
Well, you know, the man's melon farming Tom Woods, so maybe he's doing other things with his time right now, but, you know, it'd be cool.
Okay. Now, he's gonna... Back to the song. Okay. Our little aside there. So we're sitting here, and he comes up to this third verse where he kind of changes tack a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he goes more gets away from the politicians to I think the religious leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm sure you have some sort of feelings about this, given the kind of religious people that people come from.
I mean, it's interesting.
To me, he's specifically mentioning like the Joel Osteen types in this particular lyric.
Yeah, I could get that.
You gave me fortune, you gave me fame, you gave me power in your God's name. I'm every person you need to be. Oh, I'm the cult of, oh, yeah. Personality. So.
I mean, yeah, you could go there with that.
You think I could go there with that?
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on it? How do those people make you feel, Liz?
I have very mixed feelings about them because I have personal experience with, people deriving some sort of strength in times of need from some of that stuff. But I also have some really real experiences of people wasting money and time and energy and focus on, some of those leaders who are less leaders and more distractions from things you should probably be doing with your life. So, yeah, mixed feelings.
Well, fancy.
Yep.
All right, well, and then it ends up here with this mashup of a Kennedy quote and Roosevelt, who
there you go.
Ask not what your country can do for you. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm sure that Corey Glover has different politics than we do.
I imagine he might.
But I do find it interesting, the particular people he chose to use in here. So, as far as, on our scale of Dylan to Eric July through Lou Bega, what do you think, Liz?
Yeah, I feel like he's pretty middle of the road. I appreciate his message of questioning, the ideas that you buy into, and I do feel like you could argue that that's more of a maybe voluntarist or anarchist sort of idea, but he's not exactly prescribing, either side being better than the other, any direction as to, he's just kind of putting out a big question mark. So I don't really feel like it's really tipping anybody in any direction.
Okay.
Well, that's just my feels
Well,
on it. What do you think?
I'm going to give it an Eric July on this one.
You think so?
I think that the underlying point being made of questioning authority figures is at the core of what, political side of libertarianism is about, for sure.
Well, that's fair. I mean, you think questioning is enough to get you out of the matrix, as it were? Perhaps it is.
Well, I think even when you're out of the matrix, I think you still need to keep this there. Like if you are not a non-voting ANCAP, you're someone who participates in the political process. I mean, are you voting for somebody because they have an L next to their name? Or are you voting for them because they have principles? I think it's an important question.
Interesting.
So, I think everyone, regardless of where they are walk in life, I mean, we could just say it's good, solid life advice, if nothing else.
Sure.
So,
I can definitely concede that.
I'm stamping the Eric July on this one.
All right, go for it.
Moving right along.
Moving right along.